Guys, stuff that dreams are made of is here. Right now, the new Milwaukee right angle die grinder. Gone are the days that I'm going to be tethered by an air hose. Well, hopefully. Let's put this thing to the test. Alright guys, well, as you may have gathered from the intro, the new Milwaukee Fuel right angle die grinder is here. And we want to put it through the paces against old reliable, or somewhat reliable, in my right angle pneumatic right angle die grinder by Ingersoll Rand. Now I've had this thing for probably 15 years. This is the second one that I've gotten. The first one kind of imploded. Not really sure what happened, but you know, they're not super expensive, and I was able to replace it fairly you know, economically, I guess I would say. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're always going to be tethered by the dreaded air hose. So, again, this thing is great. I think we've come a long way with technology since the advent of this little bad boy right here. But today, we are going to try the Milwaukee Fuel cordless right angle die grinder. You know, I've always been talking about, you know, why doesn't somebody come out with this? Why don't they try this? Like, I'd be the first one to try it. Well, here we are. Last year, I think the 2018 symposium, I was watching it, and this was one of the tools that they talked about, and I was like, man, I really hope they come out with this. This is awesome. And my buddies down at Ackroyd Hardware, my local Milwaukee dealer, put my request in, wanted to be the first on the list for this if it became available, and got the message this morning that it's here, and we're gonna see what we can do with it. See how well it compares against the pneumatic die grinder. So first things first, let's go over this thing a little bit. Right out of the box, I just got the bare tool. Obviously, has 3 different modes onto it. So modes, we got a 15,000 RPM. I'm sorry, a 10,000, a 15,000, a 20, and a 24.5. I'm not really sure what the original one's rated at. I guess I could open up that book and see if there's actual numbers in here. But right off the bat, I noticed the tool itself is fairly light, which is kind of nice, especially if you're going to be holding it for any period of time. Obviously, I put the 4-popper on there. Stands up really nice. Another thing that I like about the M12 series tools is just the simple fact that if you put a larger battery on it, you know, you get the option of it to standing on its own, which was kind of nice for me. Again, it's got the classic Milwaukee logo on there with the fuel. It's got the overmold onto it. It's got the indicator lights with the LEDs. Pretty typical for a Milwaukee tool thus far. Nothing really stands out as far as lackluster. I mean, the paddle is kind of the same as it would be on the ratchets. It's got a little, you know, the actuator mechanism here, again, doesn't have any type of shielding on it from getting debris in there, which is a little concerning, but none of my tools that have the paddle have that, so nothing really has shown any adverse effects yet. If you look back on the motor, you could see that there is very tiny, fine mesh to protect itself from dust and debris, which is kind of nice. What else? Not too much else. I mean, I've already got it dirty a little bit, but what I want to do is take this 1.5-inch piece of tubing, square tubing, and I will hook the old reliable up to it. And I got these new flap wheels by ABN, 2-inch 60 grit, and both are brand new. Just took them out of the packaging. And one half of this will be the Ingersoll, the other half will be the Milwaukee, and we'll just see how well it does at knocking down some of this mill scale on here. You know, I'm not going to ask a tremendous amount out of something like that. I'm not going to be refacing brake rotors or anything, but you know, just knocking down surface rust, anything that I would have used this for. So you know, let's try it out. Let's see how well it does. Alright guys, well, the air compressor just kicked off, So the tank is full. I want to go through and try to knock down some mill scale off this 1.5-inch piece of tubing. We'll see how well it does against the new Milwaukee one. So just a brief recap. This is the 1/4-inch angle die grinder 301 from Ingersoll Rand. I've had this thing for a long time. Actually kept the box for whatever reason. Somewhere in there might be some specs on. I'll have to look at that later. But we'll check that out. I just wanted to let you guys know what this tool is that we're going to be comparing it against in case somebody else wants to know that. So it's the Ingersoll Rand 301 90-degree die grinder. So this thing's all charged up. Like I said, the compressor just kicked off, and we're going to try to bust some of this mill scale off this piece of square stock here. So let's have at it. Here we go. So just a FYI, this thing might kick on the compressor. It's a 60-gallon, but we all know how hoggy these things are on air. So let's have it. Let's have at it. Let's have a go. Okay, I mean that's pretty good, pretty effortless, honestly. Like I never really had anything bad to say about this to begin with, so I can't say that I'm surprised that it knocked it down. Did little to the flap disc. So what we're gonna do now is I'll take this about halfway. I'll finish that up a little bit, and I only have one cookie wheel thing for now, so I'm going to swap this over, and we'll try it on the other piece on the Milwaukee over there. All right. Let me finish this up, guys. Man, this is such a great tool. If it wasn't for the fact that I was tethered by this thing, there would be no replacement. But let's try the Milwaukee now, guys. Okay guys, something I noticed right off the bat, which is kind of nice, and I'm not sure if this is just how it is, but the collet here on the Milwaukee piece is captured inside there. So, I mean, I guess you could really force it out if you had to, but, you know, it's captured. You can't lose it. If you're fumbling around with it, it won't fall out. That's kind of neat, so I appreciate that. Let's load this new one in here. And then we'll tighten this thing down. And I'll finish tightening it up with the supplied wrenches on this thing. So give me a second, guys. I only got one hand here. Okie dokie, guys. I got that switched over. We're going to slap the new flap wheel on here now. And we will give this other side of the square tubing a go. Let's see if I can get this on here one-handed. Just one second, guys. Alright, so here we are. Hopefully this thing works out pretty decently. I'm pretty excited about it, but again, we went through with old reliable here, the IR 301 pneumatic right angle die grinder. Yeah, that's pretty much a staple in everybody's toolbox at a garage, so we're going to try the new Milwaukee right angle 12-volt job. And we'll compare it against the tried and true Ingersoll. This one here, you could see just really light pressure, buzz that mill scale right off that piece of square tubing. So we're going to do the same thing on this fresh side here with the Milwaukee and see how it goes. So let's bring this closer to the edge here, move some stuff out of the way, and wow, that sounds pretty ballsy. All right, let's try it, guys. Wow, I didn't think it was going to do that well. I am seriously impressed, guys. So this basically feels like it has just the same amount of torque in my wrist as the Ingersoll. And honestly, I know, again, we're just doing quick, you know, rip snots on this piece of tubing, but I feel like it was the same amount of time, or, you know, relatively the same amount of time. There was no power difference, in my opinion. Wow, I'm super impressed by that. So that's just a quick little overview of this new Milwaukee right angle die grinder. I'm super impressed with it, and I'm gonna look forward to using it more in the garage and see how well it works when I put it through its paces. So guys, real quick, we did this side with the 301 Ingersoll pneumatic right angle, and this side with the new Milwaukee Fuel. We'll give you the specs on it here. The 2485-20 1/4-inch right angle die grinder. This is awesome, guys. I'm freaking pumped on this thing. So if you like this video and you want to see some more videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can turn your notifications on, and you know, I'll bring you guys more videos as I get them. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and I'm super pumped on this tool. Great job, Milwaukee. I'm really impressed by the amount of power that this thing puts out versus the pneumatic one. Just in the initial testing alone, it's going to be awesome. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Again, shout out to Ackroyd Hardware for all my Milwaukee tool needs. If you're in the Lehigh Valley area, check them out. They're definitely the go-to place for all your Milwaukee stuff here in the Lehigh Valley. So check them out, guys. Have a great day. Take care, guys.